Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully your Monday is going well. I can tell you sales are a little on the slow side here, but it's not a shock, not a surprise to me. I'm not bothered by it. You know, it'd be nice to have great sales every weekend, but sometimes you got to realize when you're not putting in the same level of work, you're not going to get the same results. And what do I mean by that? This last weekend, you guys know many of you guys know we didn't do the live on Friday, and it's because I had company came out. We did the poker thing, and many of you guys who follow the channel have the community post. Well, I didn't win the darn tournament, so came close, did very well in both tournaments, but sometimes doing well isn't good enough. You got to make the money, so I didn't do that. So, but we had a good time nonetheless. Got to hang out with some friends, and sometimes you just got to take time away from the business, and I did just that. I wasn't thinking much about the business. I was checking on my account only every so often, and as a result, I'd open up my app. I'd see that I have like 10 to 15 opportunities to send offers to watchers. I do that, but you know, I wasn't on top of it like I would be on a normal weekend day where, you know, maybe every couple hours I'm sending out offers to watchers as I see them come across. And that can make a difference. You know, you're dealing with buyers who want it now. Buyers' behaviors are just that way. They want what they want right now. I'm looking for an item, and if I can't get the item that I want, then I'll go to the next seller that has it, even if it means paying a couple bucks more. So I'm sure I lost out on some sales because of that. You know, there's a lot of different factors. We tend to blame eBay a lot on that, and it's just, you got to look at yourself first. Yes, there's going to be times where eBay is going to really cause havoc for sellers, but the first place you should be looking is to yourself. Now, this weekend, I'm hopeful that sales are going to be a lot better, and the reason why is a couple years ago, I used to buy liquidation pallets, and you guys know I kind of stopped doing that because pallets have gone downhill, and I was really buying back in 2022. Archie and I were buying these box lots where there's 16 to 20 boxes stacked up on a pallet, and you don't have any idea what's in there. It's miscellaneous customer returns. You could get you know, a pack of pens all the way to like a PlayStation if you're lucky enough. And we were getting some good stuff for a while, and of course hope keeps you going. You're buying that stuff, and it just became like more pins than Xboxes. I mean, it was really not very good at all. And of course, I'm still was trying to list that bad stuff in the store, and that's where my sales just went downhill. And I stopped buying liquidation. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give them a look and see what they're doing now. And found that they were selling some liquidation that was manifested. And I was able to get in there and take a look at they show the pallets that are wrapped. You know, they're not in boxes, so you can kind of see the different views of the pallets. And I have bought 4 pallets so far. I'm picking up 1 pallet a day starting tomorrow. They don't let you pick up I have to go one trip per day because I have an SUV. I don't have a truck, so I can only get 1 pallet in that car at any time. But that's fine because there's a lot of good stuff. We're talking 1 pallet has like a car, like a new car. Well, it says open box. Now these are customer returns, so we're talking a equivalent of like a $500 car stereo. We have a couple DJI drones that are in there. We have just a lot of good stuff, right? No toilet seats either. So, and speaking of that, you guys see behind me, you know,
we're still drowning in poopers.
What a bad buy that was. Now I say that only because I'm into them for $6 a piece, and I've done everything, even including lower them down to $29.99 plus shipping. Of course, I'm not going to do free shipping on these unless I bump the price back up, which I may do. But man, I'm selling other toilet seats. I'm selling the other brands, the colorways. I'm pretty convinced it's the orange and white creamsicle colorway that's the problem, and the teal and white colorway. But man, I am very surprised that I haven't sold at least one
I wonder if we were to put them on Marketplace, if somebody would buy them in a lot.
Well, we may do that. I just got through listing a couple things on Marketplace. You guys know I do not like Marketplace, but I have a smoker and a Blackstone grill that we're moving because we got this other grill coming on Thursday. It should have been here, last week, but nonetheless, that's another story. So hopefully you guys are doing fine. No panic mode here. You think that the merchandise that I have up on my store is good right now? I mean, I think it's only okay, but it's making good sales, so it doesn't matter to me what it is. But I really think that the stuff that I'm going to be getting in here is going to be even better than what I've been putting out there, provided that the condition of this stuff is good. Now, I've invested, I'd say, about $1,200 in these pallets, these 4 pallets, and we're just going to see. We're going to see what happens. And my cost, I think I'm at like 8% MSRP, about 8% MSRP, which is outstanding. It's actually at a better rate than what I was buying before, which is closer to I was using my 40-40 method, and I was closer to 16-17%. So that's another good thing too. So let's see who we have here with us today. My diatribe was short today, so I apologize to you who actually tune in just for the diatribe. Flip It Good says happy Monday. Urethra Franklin says second, hi John and Jenna. Well, nice to see you.
Urethra!
Yeah. Nice to see you again.
I need my own sound machine.
Well, we might have to get one. I just don't want to copy Primo. Andy Reno says, Indiana in the house. What's up, FA family? Thanks for being here.
Hey,
We got Larry Todd says, howdy. Thanks for being here.
Howdy.
Callie Deb says, hello, John, Jen in the chat. I hope you all are selling a lot. I mean, I didn't really do anything on the second account. We got sales. Mm-hmm. Today is really blah, like one sale, like a 60 some odd dollar sale on the main account. And it ain't for me not listing. I was out there today in the hot garage, just back on my grind, but I ain't worried about it. You know what? The other place that I'm sourcing, my main source that I've been using all this time, I'm going to start, instead of looking for stuff anywhere from 80 on up in MSRP, I'm bumping that up. So to kind of offset, because again, I only have so much room for merchandise, and I'm not trying to store a bunch of stuff either. So going to be really,
we don't have any more room.
We don't, not really. A little bit, yes, but it's going to take some reorganization, I think.
I think we need to fix 7 and 9.
7 and 9 is kind of on hold right now because 7 and 9 is blocked by 2 walls of this that I can't even get to. And plus, I'm going to order another rack that I'm going to kind of move into that place. I've got it worked out in my mind. It might be something that I deal with when you're gone on your little playtime thing. She's going with her family to go camping for the 4th of July. I'm going to be hanging back with the dogs and working. It's fine. Part of the life. But maybe work on it then. And that way I don't have any feedback. I can just deal with it and,
And so basically you're going to, what is the saying? Say, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
That's right. That's right. And then you understanding how much time is going to be involved for me to undo all that, you'll just live with it, right? So I will work it out, try to get us some more room. That's 100% for sure. So
don't make me call John on you.
Ping G's with us. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Ping.
Duncan VR says, good morning from 8 a.m. Sales are great here, but I can never take a holiday. I lose money if I do. I guess I'm stuck in the office every day. Doing the eBay listing tug of war, 7 Celsius degrees. I think that's what it's around, probably, help me out here, like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe. But I'm sure that's pretty darn cold. Now, Duncan, you got to take some time for yourself. Maybe not the whole day off. Take time. So say to yourself, I'm going to get up, bust my butt until noon, and then the rest of the day I'm going to do this activity that I like to do, or go do the activity that you normally would do in the morning. Like for me, it's like golf, and then get home and dedicate the rest of the
45
day.
degrees.
Oh, 45. That's not too cold. That's nice. I actually would prefer 45 degrees over 115 degrees.
Right now it's 111 here, and it feels like 130.
Yeah, and I'm out in the garage, and Archie came by to borrow my hedge trimmers, Biscuit Butt. He came by and borrowed them, and I'm like, okay, well, just don't be the neighbor. And he's not even a neighbor. He's 22 miles across the valley. I'm like, don't be the neighbor who never brings it back. Hedge trimmers, the cordless head trimmers that we picked up. And so while you're here, have some ribs and some macaroni salad that I made on the, made the ribs on the smoker that I have here, and he loved them. So Jackie Bleckner says, hi, thanks for being here.
Jackie!
Tommy Z says, good to see you both. Thank you for doing the live.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, we enjoy doing the live. Speaking of doing the live, Friday is going to be a little different. We're working it out. I guess we have worked it out. Just this Friday only, we're going to go a little earlier on the live, and we're going to have a special guest with us on that live. I'm just trying to get the information here so I can make sure that I'm giving you guys the proper time. But it looks like we're going to be doing, because I only set this up a couple hours ago. I don't know why I don't remember it. So at noon Pacific time, we're going to have Jay Ride on the show with us, and we're going to be talking sales and taking your questions for about an hour and a half. So that should be interesting. And you know what? We may just go back on live after that. I mean, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got loads to pick up on tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the morning, and to process all that stuff and to get stuff listed. I may not have time to go on 2 lives, but we'll just see how it works, how it goes. If you guys want it, we'll do it. Susan Phelps says, just made a $56 sale today. I've not posted anything for a couple days. Started posting again today, and then it happened. Also sent offers as well. That's I think awesome. eBay kind of reminds you as well, like, hey, hello, I'm here. Don't forget about me. Because the other account, I did my listings for the main account so I could be gone. Didn't really mess with the secondary account.
I love your profile picture, Susan. That is so cute. Is that you in front of the truck? That is so freaking cute with the sunflowers. Why is the bubble so big?
The bubble?
This bubble.
I don't know. Should I?
It's really big.
I don't know.
Oh, God. Whoa.
Hopefully you guys are seeing that, but we're just adjusting the screen because she's worried about the bubble size.
Because this cuts me off, and I'm like, I look like...
What do you guys think about StreamYard? This is the platform that we use. StreamYard is, I think we pay like X amount to get the 1080p and all that, but I am still in the middle of taking a class on, video, and it's talking about right now using another program that really can change the live stream experience. So it sounds like the dogs got out. Be surprised. Want to go check? So we put our dogs away so they don't bark, and they have a crate that they're in, and they usually try to sneak out. So let's see. Yep, they got out. They know how to pick the lock in their crate apparently. Callie Debs says, eBay sent me an email that they were raising my limits and I'm up 97%. This leads me to believe that they were actually suppressing my sales because nothing has been wrong with my account health. I did see the article that e-commerce Bytes put out, and it's the one that says eBay sellers puzzled by change in selling limits. I don't know if it has anything to do with your sales. See, this is the thing that I really have trouble with in my mind. And I was talking about this on Primo's channel on the chat. And that is, we know that there's times where you have account health problems. Not you, Callie Debs, but just in general, sellers could have defects that they're not aware of. They could have too high shipment rates, like too many lates. So many different things that could be happening behind the scenes with your account that will affect your placement in search. And of course, your items are going to be suppressed when you're below standard, when you're not, let's say, above standard or at least top rated seller. We know that. That's all account health related. But aside from that, eBay has no reason to suppress anyone's listings because they are in they want as many sales as they can possibly get on the site, which means more money that they can take from us. That's just the reality about it. And of course, they are obligated to their shareholders to make sure that they're showing a profit month over month, well, quarter over quarter. And I think suppressing it kind of goes against that mindset or that goal, because someone's looking for item A, you're only one of a couple that have it. It does them no good to suppress it because they want to find a way to convert that sale.
Do you know how to make your writing smaller?
I don't know how to make the writing smaller, man.
Control.
Yes, I just did that.
And you roll your mouse.
Yeah, that's what I did, and it went crazy on me. See, she's trying to fix our optics, and it has nothing to do with your optics. This is what they're saying for some reason. So this has been going on for quite some time, where we're hiding underneath our
I feel like Mr. Wilson behind the fence.
Who's that?
You don't remember on the Tim Allen show?
I didn't ever watch that show.
Wow.
I never liked that show.
I did.
Oh, there's shows that I could talk about that you probably have no idea.
Yeah, because you're old.
I was going to break out Sanford and Son references, but that would just confirm it.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people, and I had to do that scrolling thing, and it kind of screwed me up here, so I apologize. Jerry Johnson's with us. Says, hi, John and Jen and FA. It's hot here in central Nebraska today.
Yeah, 99 degrees. Well, I feel ya. It's 111 here.
Joe Samard's with us. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Joe.
And we have Rad Relics. The mystery boxes have went crazy in this area. The ones that we loved them. And the thing is, at first, I found a $1,200 Sony lens for a camera, and it was like brand new. Got within days, I sold that thing for like a little over $1,000. Those are what kept me going back to buying these boxes, right? Items like that. But those home runs were fewer and far between, and it really felt like someone was picking through them. Now, in all honesty, what we were doing is we were buying these boxes. We go through and say, you know what? All the house good stuff, all the clothes, all the shoes. I think maybe the shoes we picked out, but the clothing, the randomness that I didn't want to mess with, we put back in those boxes, and we sold them as just Amazon return boxes. And we kind of took pictures of like the overview of each box, and we put them up on Marketplace. And I was selling them for like $150 for about 10 boxes, like $15 a box. And that went over well. We found a way to move from the stuff we didn't want to mess with.
Yeah, it was some of it was bad. It was really bad.
It wasn't great. People would come and get it, and I guess they'd send it. Some people were buying it, sending it to Mexico. Some were selling them on Mercari and that type of thing, and that's fine. But we weren't, advertising, hey, you could find the next Xbox in here. We made it clear that, there weren't really any home run items in there, but people were still buying them. Yeah. Semperfi in the house sold a few bolos, so sales overall is up. Listing more stuff today, always looking, but being more selective when buying. It's a good idea. You're going to find that you're buying less things, but the things you are buying is going to move a little faster. Big Dre says, hello, John and Jen in chat. Just got back from vacation. Had a good time swimming and shopping. No eBay sales until today while on vacation mode. Yeah, because, eBay is giving the disclaimer that, this seller is going to be away until this date. Do you still want to buy the item kind of thing? And that mindset where the buyer's like, well, I didn't buy it really to buy from Big Dre. I bought it. I'm buying this because I need it now, and I can't wait until he gets back. So I'll just go to the next listing. Gail Carlson. Hello, John and Jenna. FA family. New batch of pinball manuals came in, so I'm listening and listing. Awesome. So pinball manuals.
Yeah, she had a lot of those before, remember?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You're gonna find that you're dealing with a select, like, I guess maybe not. You're gonna have people that have like maybe pinball machines in their basement, right?
Yeah, I had an ex-sister-in-law that she used to work at an auction, and they sold old, I don't know if they'd be considered antique, but I'm sure they are, old pinball machines. And Tyler, my son, got one, and it was just a little, like a mini one, but it was pretty cool.
And my favorite pinball game, and really I'm not a big pinball machine kind of guy. don't need to play pinball machines. I never really have, but me and a buddy would go across the street to the 7-Eleven when we were in high school, and we'd play Earthshaker. I think it's called Earthshaker. It's the one where
the whole thing shakes.
It starts going, well, you hit a certain couple things on the board there, and then it would activate like 4 or 5 balls at once, and the whole machine would start shaking.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. Big Dre sold a pair of shoes in the weekend on Mercari for $100 and got my first eBay sale today since vacation mode. There you go.
Good.
There you go. Good. Duncan says, John is the toilet shitter seat specialist.
Joint. What?
Join.
Oh, John is the toilet shitter. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I think Primo was saying that I should start up another store just specializing in the toilet seat niche. But I tell you right now that not doing this again.
Colored ones are not the business.
But you know, people buy things for they need it, right? But is it going to look cute in my bathroom, right? Is it going to stand out like a sore thumb? And I really think that does enter people's minds.
I didn't believe that at first, but now I'm starting to.
I mean, I've lowered the toilet seats down to $29. I half price right now, where I can still make a profit and get rid of these things. Absolute Finds his question: any tips on sourcing or where to go to grow my store or scale? Thrifting is every day gets hard on some areas. Thanks for all the info. Great channel. So you can go to. What I would start with is maybe if you want to get into the liquidation game local. liquidationmap.com. And now it's been a minute since I've tried to pull this site up. Is it even there? Maybe that is gone defunct.
Yeah.
Did they change it? Okay. They changed the site since I've seen this. So you go to liquidationmap.com, and then there should be a purple button. There's a purple button that says show map. And then you can go in and zoom in on the map to see what liquidators are even advertising on this thing in your area. But they have liquidators all over the country. I mean, lots of big purple dots all over the place here. And that's where I would start.
Hopefully you're not in Illinois or Montana or because they don't have any there.
But also you got things like macy'sliquidation.com, and this MACYS liquidation.com. Get a lot of good liquidation opportunities. I believe you do have to have a reseller certificate for your state that you send them. And then that opens that up to where you now can bid on different liquidation lots plus freight. You got to remember freight. So you might think, oh, I'm getting this for $3 a piece. But by the time you figure in, freight, you're into it for $5 a piece. So you got to be very, very careful. But that was something that we've done before with macy'sliquidation.com. I just got a message from Dick's Sporting Goods. They have liquidation that they're putting out through Bstock, and bstock.com is another site. Same type of situation as Macy's liquidation. And I bought some. You got to be very careful, though, I think, on Bstock. Be careful which companies you go through. If you stick with the large stores and not just the Bstock ones.
Home Depot, Macy's, those are usually pretty good, but it all depends on what you're looking for.
But that's just liquidation, though. You're saying that you're doing thrifting. So right now, for most people in the country, yard sales are happening. For Vegas, it's too hot. So this is where people just gradually stop doing yard sales. It's hard to find yard sales in the summer in Vegas, but I guess a lot of it is dependent on where you're at. So that's something to consider too. And I just got, you guys know I've been talking about business cards. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the whole idea of doing the whole yard sale thing, I've been wanting to get business cards. And then I came across this post on Instagram, and it made a lot of sense. And I ended up hook, line, and sinker going for it. I think it's called Dot. I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to find where my order confirmation is. I guess it's coming today. So I guess if he brings it to you, but it's a card. It's like a credit card. I got the one that's metal. I paid a little bit more for the metal one because I think the metal one's cool for some reason. But once you get this card, you get it like different colors. It doesn't have your information on the card. It looks like a credit card, But when you're wanting to share your information with somebody, it's all uploaded on the card. You put whatever you want on the card, and you basically have them tap it to their phone, and it uploads your contact information to their phone from the card. And I thought, you know what? That is probably the best way to go about it, because who's going to carry stacks of cards with them? I already got a wallet that's packed as it is. I can't imagine just remember, oh, I'm going to yard sales, I forgot my business card. So, and then people get cards. What do they do with them? They throw them down. They don't, oh, where did I put that business card? I might need to call this person. But when you have it on the, all you have to do is show your phone. I think it's kind of a cool thing, and it's something I'm going to be sporting here once it gets here. So something to consider as well. Major Win says, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here, Major Win. Nice to see you. Vinyl Rob's with us, says, should I use my payout to pay the insertion fees beyond my 250 listings, or just wait it out until I get a new batch of free listings? Here's the thing I would always avoid doing. So you don't have a store, apparently. Do not allow the 25-cent insertion fees to slow you down. Now, I don't know what price point you're selling at. I guess if you're selling like $2 items, that could certainly make a huge difference in your profit margin, and then you should wait. But if you're selling just the standard fare that people sell on eBay, you know, the 10, 20 plus items, it's going to kind of add up as you go, but you should really consider just listing. Get as many things as you can listed in your store, because you cannot sell an item that's not listed. So it's going to be sitting back behind you. You're waiting, and all the while people are logging onto eBay and want to buy your item, and they can't find it because it's not listed. So there's a channel out there that I will not mention that made me scratch my head. They had mentioned that, well, I'm out of my free listings, so I'm not listing until next week. What? You're out, you're putting yourself out of business because you are out of free insertions? You got to remember that in every dollar we give eBay sucks, right? We don't like to give eBay any money if we can help it. But this is all money that is going to be deductible against your earnings at the end. I'm not a CPA, but this is just the way it works when you're reporting your taxes. So you make $50,000, and let's say you have $10,000 in selling fees. I mean, we all know it's probably more than that, but guess what? You're only taxable before everything else is currently at 40, because that 10,000 comes off of the amount that they look at that's taxable. So it doesn't sting as bad at the end of the year. I mean, you want as much money up front as you can, but don't let 25-cent listings slow you down. And then maybe even if that does happen, where the idea of giving eBay 25 cents for insertion fees is not something that you really want to do, get your best stuff up. So make it worth the while. The stuff that has the higher, the higher ASP, make sure that get those things going. And then by the time you get more listings, then you make it work. I would seriously consider getting a store, though. Anyone that's serious about selling on eBay that doesn't have at least the starter store, I think you're missing out. And the reason is, whenever you have that store, you have the markdown sale and coupons. Guys, when you list on eBay, you're in competition with other sellers, okay? And the last thing you want is it's like having a brick and mortar store, and you have your store and the store next to you. You guys sell similar things. They're always putting sales and flashy signs up on their window, and your landlord says, no, you're not allowed to do that. So you would feel like you're sort of not on a level playing field. And unbeknownst to you, you might think, hey, I'm listing, but your competition is using markdown sales and coupons and getting the sales that you're probably not getting because you don't have access to that feature. So certainly you would want to consider that above and beyond the whole insertion thing. Maya says, hello. Thanks for being here, Maya. Thanks for dropping by. We have Big Dre says, ended up spending $200 on $1,400 worth of inventory on vacation, and even got 2 new business connections. So
like business connection.
Now I hope that you now change or reclassify that trip. So it sounds like at first it was a vacation, It actually sounds like it morphed into a business trip. And so if that's the case, and I'm not a CPA,
write-offs.
I'm not a CPA, but guess what? I'm including that at the end of the year. And
John turns every vacation
that is not true. Into
a business trip.
Last year we went to New Mexico, and it was my intention while we were out there to go to some yard sales, but our host had us planned out throughout from the morning to the night. Boom, boom, boom. There was no free time for you. We're doing all these things. Yeah. So I couldn't justify writing off that, was it a 800 or 900 mile drive there and back, like 4 days. I couldn't justify it, and I didn't report it for that reason. And
almost every.
Yeah.
He will make a point if we're out to lunch or dinner to speak about business.
Yeah.
Every time.
But I don't write it off every time. I mean, I have. No, I do not. I have this many receipts.
Doorbell.
Yep. Got it. And see if they have my little dot card. I probably don't. It's probably in my mailbox. Andy Reno says, I was first, but then I went away. We have Curious Collection says, afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. Curious Collection. Mine says, my sales on eBay are good, but is anyone else having a huge spike of buyers messaging you trying to lowball? It's like all day, every day for me, and I'm so fed up with it. So now you're getting messages and not offers. I mean, you can't really do a whole lot about that. Maybe that happens a lot when you have your offers turned off and they're trying to see if they can get a deal from you. You know, just say, my prices are firm. Thank you very much. And then I would always reply, because I do believe that there's metrics behind the scenes that eBay does see how often you reply to your messages and how timely you reply to your messages. And I believe it's the first one. So for me, it's I give some kind of a reply. Now, if you have offers set up, consider setting a low bar. So a bar for like, okay, this is the lowest I'll take for this item. And then that way it doesn't bother you. For me, I don't have that set up because I do look at it as even a low ball opportunity. We call low ballers. I mean, I don't know if I really am not thinking that low ballers in my mind exist. I think there's people are out there that are trying to get good deals like you and I do at a yard sale, or, you know, anytime we can negotiate at a flea market and to bring a price down. I mean, the seller's probably thinking that, hey, why can't you just give me my price? But reselling, you know, we're trying to get the best deal. And I think that's what other people are doing. Maybe you have other fellow resellers that are seeing how desperate you are to take a low ball deal. And they are hoping that maybe you're like the last person they dealt with, because people don't do these things unless it works. So obviously they've done this to other people and they're able to get their price or close to it. And they're just looking at you as just another person. I wouldn't let it bother you. Just move on. Urethra says, glad to make a live. You know, I'm always watching as head bitch of replay game.
I love that.
That's awesome. That was that Sal?
It wasn't Sal.
Oh, just someone else. It's good to have a good rapport with your postal carrier. You know, we actually had our carrier was on vacation for a good week and a half, and I'm surprised if he ain't here today. I'm surprised that anyone even came.
He followed the rules. He had the paper.
Okay, well, there's about, it's like a crapshoot. About 50% of the backups never show up. And we were left at like 5 o'clock or almost 5 o'clock going, okay, do we take them or do we wait?
Yeah.
And
Sal said the other day, he said it because he said, if I'm not here by 4:30, that's what he used to say. Now he says, if I'm not here by 4 o'clock, then you have to take them.
Yeah. And, you know, you just find a way. If you have a carrier, find a way to just break the ice, build the rapport with them, have a conversation, bake them some cookies, give them a water, especially on a hot day, you know, something like that, and get their, because look, if you become one of their favorite people to deliver to, they're going to make sure that you're taken care of. Instead of putting your return in the box outside, they might bring it to your door. Now, we still have to go out to our box for some of that stuff, but it is what it is. It's just a good idea. Maya says, I'm finally snapped on a buyer yesterday. I was so sick of him messaging me every day for 3 days trying to haggle.
Oh God. I block those people.
So for me, it's the first response. Just respond, say, I can't go any lower. And then if they come back and they're not taking no for an answer, go and block them. Just go and block them. And that way you don't have to snap. You don't have to feel any kind of way about the buyer. You just block them and move on. I love it. There's so many times where I know that, look, I've done this before. Let's just be real about it. Let's be honest with each other. If we're working for somebody, we've got to maintain professionalism at all times. Maintain professionalism. But there have been a couple times where you have maybe thought it's not a good idea to say what's really on my mind, right? Because we're in business. But in a couple cases, I've said what's really on my mind. And then after I've sent it, go and block. So I really don't care. I really don't care what they have to say. I got it off of my chest, right? Of course, you're not cursing or doing anything like that. I mean, that's against eBay's terms and conditions. But you can say what you want to say, knowing that that person's never going to buy from you again, provided that they haven't bought from you. Now, of course, they can leave negative feedback and say what you said, so be very careful. But if they've never bought from you and they're just one of those people that are just nasty or they're just irritating, you can say what's on your mind in a tactful way and then just say block, because I never want to hear from you again. So I could never do that at my previous job because that's not considered professional, right? Because that person you're never able to block someone in the real world, right?
Oh man, I wish I could.
I mean, because the moment you say something to that person on the phone or through email that they really wanted to, they can bark up the chain and get you in trouble in some way, shape, or form. Well, this is your business, right? The only entity you have to worry about is eBay and making sure you don't cross that line. But is it good business? No, probably not. Is it a good way to relieve the stress of that person? I think sometimes you need to do that, but just block them when you're done.
Yeah, I hope you blocked them, Maya.
Ping G says, Maya, I get very few buyers who try to lowball me. Very selective on which listings I use, best offer, but I do send offers to watchers. Let's see. Tommy says, balk them. Balk them. I would balk them myself, but if I could balk them, I would. I don't know what that is. Or I guarantee a return and hassle is in your near future.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with people. And this is the thing. I think people watch this and go, well, that's not good business, blocking somebody if they're asking questions. So my general rule is, it's like a baseball game. You got 3 strikes, you're out. If you ask me 3 stupid questions, that's the way it is. If it's like, it's obvious you're asking me questions that I have clearly represented in the listing, that means you're not looking at the listing. And that means that you're going to have different ideas about the item when you get it that aren't quite there. Like the whole cat litter box that I sold that was used, and they said that you said it was new, but no, it's used. Yeah. Had I known that this person was that way, I wouldn't have wanted to do business with that person, because they ended up leaving me a positive feedback in a negative way, and it was just a pain in the butt, and I didn't appreciate that, and I did nothing wrong. So you get buyers out there who will ask questions instead of reading the listing. Do you really want to do business with that person? And so you have to consider that. Some people say, look, I don't care. I'll sell to anyone. And that's fine. Keep doing that. But understand that there's going to be people who are going to take their lack of reading your listing or their lack of understanding what you're selling out on you. Mm-hmm. People don't take ownership of things anymore. No. And I don't want to deal with that.
Personal.
I don't want to deal with that. Maya says, oh, yeah, don't worry. I did put them on my block list. Yeah. Glenda says, hi, John and Jenna and all the great FAE family.
Hello, Glenda.
Thanks for being here. We have Andy Reno says, hey, Jenna, when you come home, you're going to see 2 storage containers in your backyard.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Look, here's the thing. When I started buying these liquidation pallets, She gave me the side eye. She gave me the side eye. And then I'm like, ooh, I kind of got carried away. I almost bought a $30,000 lot. That would have been a nightmare. I'm glad I didn't win it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to bid $5,000 on this one. And I bid $5,000. And then at the last second, I got outbid. And it was multiple pallets. Now, they don't work with you. Where I go, they don't work with you. If you can't pick up the pallet, it's like they won't let you have it. You got to pick up everything. So I know I can handle one pallet with my vehicle. I can't handle multiple pallets. But I have bought 4 individual pallets and individual listings. So I'm going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to pick up in the morning and coming home and just processing it. And I'm going to kind of go deeper into a lot of that stuff of what I'm getting and behind the scenes. If you're a member, and thank you to the members on the live or the channel. If you're a member, I don't even care what level at this point. If you're a member, you're going to have access to that where you can see, what kind of things I'm picking up. Of course, you can always go to my store on eBay and kind of get an idea of what I'm selling. But it's just going to be a game changer for me. I firmly believe that it's going to help maintain over a $500 a day level, which is what I've always wanted to do, because that's $15,000 a day in sales. Of course, you're running at about a 50% margin. You do the math on that. Richard Spanuski says, you two are flush with toilet seats. I know you're going to wipe out the competition.
I don't know. We haven't sold one yet, but we've sold all the other ones that are gray.
So we've been watching. Well, she's been binge watching now. It's no longer Love Island. It's Naked and Afraid. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, we could, how they let you choose what you can bring, that one tool. I was like, we're bringing a toilet seat. Or I said to her, I'm bringing 2-ply with me if I'm ever stuck on that show.
John's PSR would be negative.
Your PSR has gone 10. From 1 to 0.3 because you had to bring a toilet seat with you. That's great. Maya says, Ping G, yeah, I do both of those too. I don't get why people can't just use the best offer button.
Yeah.
They do, but if it's not there, they can't use it.
Yeah.
Joe's only have 100, I guess 100 in sales today. If that's what I'm saying.
100 in.
100 degrees there. Okay. Brenda Smith says, happy Monday, everyone. Baseball over Blake is back. Well, hopefully Blake's doing good at baseball.
All right. Well, how did it end? Did he get into the playoffs or whatever? What do they do for baseball?
They do the all-star team thing.
All-stars.
So awesome.
That's awesome.
You know what? It's not about whether you make the all-star team or not. It's about, I think it's a great way to socialize and learn.
And learn team playing.
It's just so many things, skills that you learn from being in those activities versus stuck at home behind an Xbox.
Yes. Oh my God.
It translates so well to where you're older and you're going to have an easier time getting through high school and acclimating to new people than if you've never really done. It's the same concept. We have our dogs in the house. They don't socialize with other dogs. And when we want to go on vacation, we just don't want to take them anywhere because
they're not socialized.
They're not. They're just.
But hi, Blake. I'm glad you're back. I hope you had fun doing baseball.
Yeah. Callie Deb says, eBay sent me an email that they were raising my limits and up 97%. This leads me to believe that they were actually suppressing. So I saw that earlier. I don't know if they're really suppressing anything. I do believe that. Look, I've had $2 billion, 2 billion listings for forever, since like 2018. I've had 2 billion listings. You're never going to utilize all that. I think that they're just, if you reach a certain level, seller level, like, okay, we can trust that this person isn't ripping people off. And we really don't want to keep getting phone calls asking for seller limit increases or whatever.
My limits have been gone for a while.
Yeah.
A while, like probably over a year.
I don't think it's anything to read into. I just think that they're just doing it across the board.
Yeah, I think it's just something they're doing away with.
Andre Squaw says, got LYK in my ear and you.
Lawyer, yeah. I'll be watching that when we're done here.
Is that what was going on when I was?
No, that's Emily Baker. I watch her for the live coverage, but I go to LYK to get his perspective of what happened in court today.
I mean, we need the eBay trial. If we can get the eBay trial, that would be pretty good, right?
Trial for what?
The civil. I want them to show the civil trial.
They'll never show that.
Well, I'd love to see it. Big
Just
Dre
like
says
they don't show federal.
Big Dre says entire trip was paid for with reselling funds. Even when I went to get some cash out of an ATM to pay for some items, it spit out old $20 bill that was worth between $40 and $100.
Nice.
And I got to tell you, just for the fun of it, I always collect the coins that I get, like loose change. It's not as common as it used to be. I had a little tin that I'd fill up, right? And it got full. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be going. This is a couple weekends ago when I went to South Point. They got one of those machines there, the Coinstar machine. So I'm like, I think I got like $60 in here. So I'll put in the machine and I'll go and put in the machine and play little slots or something, right? So I did that, and it kept rejecting one of the quarters. And I looked at the quarter. I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with this quarter. And I looked closely, and it was a 1940 quarter. And anyone knows, I think prior to like 1963, all the quarters are silver. So it was worth like $10 or whatever.
So did you keep it?
Yeah, I kept it. It's in the safe. So I have all the our metals in the safe and stuff like that. So Maya says, Callie Debs, I got the same email and I heard others got it. I thought maybe it was a widespread thing. So let's say this. Let's say eBay has been doing that. Let's say it was a programming thing. Maybe it was not intentional. Let's say it was one of those behind the scene things that negatively affect our account, and we've been pulling our hair out over it, and it's now fixed. Well, that's a good thing. So let's just, you know what? You made it this far in reselling with the limits that they gave you, right? And now the safety's been taken off or whatever. You're now the regulator's
You're not
been
being
removed.
restrained.
Right. You can just now, boom, go straight ahead and make the big bucks. I think that there's no correlation between your selling limits and your actual sales on the platform. That's just me. I don't think there is. Yeah. Maya says, yeah, I don't know. I think I saw some people talking about it on Josh Galt's community post. We all have our own theories. Okay. We all have our own theories as to why, we didn't sell, X amount of dollars and why we're 30% down or whatever. And I think we do that. I think as a species, we want to know why. Why is this? Why does this happen? Why is this happening? And it's sort of a way to kind of keep it within our control, or knowing that things are out of our control, so it's not as upsetting. When we know something's out of our control, we can say, okay, that's why, and we don't feel as bad psychologically. But I'm here to tell you guys, 90% of the negative things that happen to us on the platform is a result of our actions. And it's everything from what we buy. Now, a lot of people get mad and leave comments. That's fine. I'm done. Primo had made a mention on his live a few weeks back that, John likes to apologize and he probably shouldn't apologize so often. And he's probably right. I've been so worried about upsetting people. And it's like, you know what, I'm just going to say what's on my mind. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm a firm believer that everything we do, from what we buy to how we sell it, to the photos we use, to the listings we put together, to the account health we maintain, has 90% to do with our success on the platform. The problem is people don't get past the first step. Okay, they buy things that they probably shouldn't buy to resell, or what they like, which they probably have an abundance of and think this would be great to resell, but the sell-through rate doesn't support it. And now they do all the things that these channels tell them to do, and they're now soured on eBay because they're not selling their item. And I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm just saying that that's what I see. I keep seeing
the backlash that we get.
Yeah, we get a lot of people
because people don't take accountability for their businesses in any aspect.
And for my
it's all eBay's fault.
Yeah, and from my experience, when I have done this, when I've seen this, because you guys know my story. Well, many of you guys know my story. We've had good, we've had bad items in our store. And the more crappy items, I'll say it because some people are like, stop calling your items crap. The more crap I put in my store, it affects everything else. And when I start removing it, I'm starting right now on my main store. I've got 205 items, and I'm fine with maintaining 200 items. So for me, I still have some crap items in that count. So if I get to 210, I'm taking 5 items out and I'm putting it in the secondary store. And I'm going to keep doing that until I have the slower selling stuff out of there, because I really do feel like my store can do better than what it has. And I think that even the slower selling items that are left in there is affecting it in some kind of way. And guess what? It's my fault. My fault for putting it in there in the first place. But sometimes we believe, oh, this should sell, and it doesn't.
You're up too high.
I am up too high. I got too low. Sorry, guys. Trying to get to your comments. Silver says, I use StreamYard free service. It does all I want. But what you got to know about the free is it does, I think, 720p. It's not 1080p. And for a lot of people, like watching it on their TV, it's somewhat noticeable. The video quality isn't there. Of course, if they're on their smartphones, it's probably not as noticeable because it's a smaller screen. You can't upload your logos. You can't fancify it like I didn't do that today.
Fancify?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
It is a word, because I can do that. So I can put my overhead thing on there. So you can make it your own, and that's kind of appealing to me. But I am learning this, the OBS, I think it's OBS Studio. It's a free download, but it's so convoluted. There's so many options. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin on this thing. And so for me, I'm taking this class I spent like $15 for, and it's telling me how to set it up. And eventually I'm going to wean myself off of StreamYard and go over to that. And it's going to open up some cool features, I believe. So we'll see how that works out. Maya says, I really had good sales before it, so I thought that was what triggered the email. Or it had really good sales. I mean, I get the emails from eBay too, like, consider doing this to your listings to improve your sales. I get that on my main account, but I'm like, my sales are fine. Susan Phelps says, are you kidding? I'm almost 60, just love to pick and relate. I am the old school. I was lucky to get this pic posted on my page, LOL. Of the sunflowers.
Yeah, I get it. I understand, but it's such a cute picture.
Maya says, in fact, when I saw it, I thought it was eBay requesting invoices for everything I was selling.
Oh, no.
No, now, here's the thing. You'll know when that happens, because things for me back in 2019, and I don't know if the eBay's ever changed this, but this is kind of how it went. Things are going great. And it's like, why are my sales crappy? And then I got an email from eBay, and it was almost accusatory, where they were saying like, we do monitor our site and we flag sellers that are drop shipping. And it was like, they're calling me out for being a drop shipper. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a drop shipper. And is this why my sales are slow? So I called eBay, and the guy kind of admitted, yeah, your account's been flagged. And they made me send in all the invoices for my pallets that I was buying. So I got that rectified, and a couple of days later. Now, what I should have done had I known is end items sell similar, after they resolved it, now I would have got the sales back faster, but it did come back. Soda City Flip says, okay, I'm here finally. Y'all settle down. Nice to see you.
Shane, how many hats have you sold this weekend?
Hats. You sell a lot of hats?
He's a hat seller. If you see him on TikTok, he's showing up all the hats.
So he's selling on TikTok too?
No. He shows what he's sold.
Well, some people sell on TikTok.
Well, yeah, but not. used items like that. It's not that kind of a.
I just don't know. You know, hats. I like hats. You guys know me and my hats. I like hats.
We know.
I just haven't had a lot of success selling them on eBay.
We don't.
Now there's stores. I came across a store that had a ton of hats, probably about 1,000 hats, and they were selling at a pretty good clip. So maybe it's one of those things where you are building a clientele and you sell within a niche. People come back and I'm gonna buy my next hat because this hat experience was good. I don't know. Susan Phelps says, I just have a starter store on eBay store, but I have over 700 listings I can do. Not sure why. You know, to me, I mean, if that isn't enough, I mean, that could be enough for you. But if always look to see how many listings you have. And so if you have, let's say, around 800 listings, you only have 1,000 to work with. Now, remember, 700 in your store, 1,000 to work with. That doesn't count the number of items you've sold in that month. So you could go over 1,000, depending on how many sales you have. If you're that close, it's probably worth paying the additional, was it $65 for the 10,000 item store, or $69.99, whatever it is, to allow yourself to do a number of things. Number one, you have plenty of room to grow. And number two, you can do end item sell similar throughout the. If you have 700 listings and you only have 1,000 listings to work with,
just confirmed she has
112 listings. So you're pretty good. So you have room to do end item sell similar a few times in the month. I think it's a good idea to do it at least every 29 days. There's benefits to that than just allowing your item to roll over and let eBay just keep recycling it, because
I gotta go in and do that.
eBay thinks your item's stale, guys, when you allow it to roll over every 30 days rather than doing it with the end item sell similar. And just as a plug, shameless plug for TreeCat, they're the only ones that allow you to schedule that out on your item. So you don't have to make it a process that you do. You could set that in every item you have listed on eBay to end item sell similar every week or two, and that process is done for you. You don't have to worry about it. You can't even do that on eBay. This is all baked into the TreeCat program, and you can use the link down below if you want to go check that out. Yeah. And that allows you to cross post over to Mercari and Poshmark as well. Heidi Ho Neighbors, says Shane, and Westlake Market's with us. Thanks for being here. Keena's with us. Hey guys,
hi,
thanks
Keena.
for being here. Susan says, dude, you don't know who Mr. Wilson is? I don't watch that show. If you had asked me,
it's not on anymore,
if you would have said this was on TV, who is Mr. Wilson? I'm thinking Tom Hanks, and I'm thinking the volleyball, because that's what he named the ball, Mr. Wilson.
Well, yeah.
But no, that's what
not.
I'm thinking Mr. Wilson is.
Mr. Wilson.
Okay, well, who's Wheezy?
Huh?
Who's Wheezy?
I don't have a clue.
You know who? Anybody who knows who Wheezy is?
A rapper?
No. This is old school sitcoms. Who's Wheezy? Anybody remember Wheezy?
I'm sure somebody does.
Maya Koyama says, Susan, is that for free listings or your listing limit? You can go over your free listings on any store, but you have to pay insertion fees. Yeah. But don't let insertion fees hold you back. Just know that if you have a certain size store, it's time to upgrade. If you need to wait on more insertion fees, it's probably time to move to the next level. Ping G says, Home Improvement, Tool Time, Tim Allen, great show.
Yes, I loved that show when I was a kid.
Yeah, I didn't watch Seinfeld.
No,
I didn't watch Friends.
I did.
I didn't watch Home Improvement, right?
I did.
I think that was in like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
For me, I was working the night shift at that time. In the 90s, when I started in 93 at Amtrak, I worked like the night shift for like 10, 12 years. I didn't get a chance to watch the night shows. That's kind of a regret I have, because
at dinner time.
Didn't have the time to spend with my kids, because I was working at night. This is another thing. But Keena says, eBay told me they're raising my listing amount too, but I only have about 80 items listed as it is. No way I can exceed what I'm already allowed. Don't know what that's about. I
just think it's an eBay thing. They're just getting rid of limits. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that.
David Pentland says, hi, John, Jenna, and FA fam. Sales are good, but I get stock anxiety and where I'm going to get the banging stuff.
Yeah.
You just got to have multiple sources.
John gets that too. That's why he goes crazy when he sees pallets that are
So that's why I say we're like private investigators, right? So I'm doing background checks on the pallets that I'm getting. If I'm being honest with you, I'm going through the process. So I'll go onto these sites. This is what I used to do. It takes a little knowledge of Excel, or if you're like a Google Sheets person, but I have Excel, and I'll go in and I'm probably gonna do a video on this too, kind of showing you kind of what I do, but it's taking the cost, the MSRP. We know it's garbage, but this is where they get the data from Amazon. These are Amazon pallets, and then I'll take that as a baseline, and I know exactly based on my 40-40 method how much I'm going to be making approximately on the low, knowing I'm going to be making more than that, more than likely. But lately I've been able to do 40-20, which means I'm going to make at least 40% of the MSRP, but I'm only into the item for 20%, which never used to happen. I was looking at 16 to 20% on pallets, and I'm getting good deals. That's why I'm so like excited about it, because I'm like, oh, I'm only into this pallet for 8%, and I have 30 items on the pallet, and these are like a $4,000 MSRP. So if you do the math, like, wow, these are pretty big items for the most part. So I will be letting the members, if you're a member of the channel, then I'm going to be putting out just a little sidebar content. Content I don't think the masses want to watch, could care less about, but fans of the channel would be interested in seeing, hey, this is what John's got going on, that kind of thing. So Big Dre's is going to put up some of the items I found on vacation today.
Yeah.
Get that stuff listed.
Yeah.
And heck, on the flight back, if you flew, I don't know if you flew or drove, but on the flight back, I'm working on drafts. It's like, let's get this stuff up. JRKR, just got a sale before I hit the like. Will I still get another one? I don't know. I mean,
Jen, yes, I will send you the.
I'm still waiting on my first sale, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. DM Ephemera says, hello everyone from Western PA. Sales are acceptable. How long till chat goes down the crapper completely today?
Who knows?
You know what?
Well, I haven't seen. Well, I've seen him, but we have not. You have not seen him.
The crapper conversation instigator.
Yes, there's a couple.
I know which one you're talking about.
They're here.
Okay. Paul Rose says, hi John and Jenna. I have an original Tron. I remember Tron arcade machine and a Star Wars fruit machine. Now I don't know what a fruit machine is on Star Wars. Not sold all my cool stuff yet.
Wow.
What is a Star Wars fruit machine? Because I'm a big Star Wars guy, so.
It's probably talking about an arcade machine.
But fruit?
Maybe it's fruit.
I never seen them eating fruit on Star Wars. Okay. But Tron, it's the game. Lines that, you know, you go around, you got to do this. You got to go around on the board until your opponent crashes or until you crash. Remember that one. Big Dre says, sent out 45 offers today, hoping to get a few bites to get my sales back on track.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to do a end and sell similar on a few, you know.
Here's Gail says, Bally Nitro Ground Shake. Is it Ground Shaker or Earth Shaker? I thought it was Earth Shaker, but you might be right. You're the one with the manuals, not me. Really a fun pin. I remember yelling, Earth Shaker, right? When you get all the pinballs going crazy.
Ground Shaker.
No, I wouldn't say Ground Shaker. It was something, I believe it was yelling Earth Shaker, and the whole machine's going crazy, and you got like 5 pinballs going nuts, and it would like be totally cool. Silver Hair Stacker, that one will get a return for sure. I don't know which one you're talking about. Oh, the sale that we got. No, you're not gonna know. That's a different channel. If you hit the like button on the other channel, I'm not going to mention that channel, so you guys will have to figure it out when you get a return after hitting their like. But here, we only get sales for hitting the like button. Absolute Fines. What?
I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
There's all kinds. Oh. Absolute Fines says SC. I don't know what SC
South Carolina?
But what about SC? Mike Gertis says...
Maybe you asked where they're from.
I don't know. Mike Gertis says, hello, just had to cancel my $335 order.
Oh.
It's one of those days. Only 4 sales totaling $220. At least the few sales were decent. Weird month, but still good. Chug it on.
Yeah.
As it stands right now...
Yeah. And it's waiting payment.
Oh, boy. Only a $67 day. Yesterday was $364. We are up 9.3% over the last 30 days, the previous 30 days, at like $13,600 the last 31 days. Last 7 days, 25.57. So not as good as it has been, but we're going to keep, I got to tell you, infusing better product. And, you know, we got toilet seats, we got shower chairs, we've got, I mean, all kinds of randomness, like home improvement stuff that we've been the last year and a half been putting up, but adding things like drones and different like electronics. A lot of these are electronic items, some appliances, right? I think that's really going to help. And I've been kind of fired up. I know what I'm getting in these pallets. Don't know what, the only thing I don't know is the condition. And that's something I have to fill in afterwards. No return policy with these people like the ones that I've been dealing with. So it's like with liquidation, you got what you got. So am I going to be parting out some of this stuff because it doesn't work properly? So a lot of these things I'm taking into consideration. How's the parts or repair sales on this item? So has this item, if it doesn't work, can I sell it for parts and repair? And I'm really keeping a lot of that kind of stuff in mind. So I'm not ever going to be losing money on a bad buy. You guys see behind me, and I'm not giving up on this yet, but it hasn't turned out to be all that great. Beard says, "What's up, Moisties?" Hey, Beard, are you doing your book talk tonight afterwards? Very curious if you are or not. Jovial Juggler, Black Knight Pinball in the 80s was the best. Spent many a quarter in that game. I don't remember that.
Black Knight.
And look, I wouldn't even have known about this ground shaker, earth shaker thing if it wasn't just right across the street from me. You know, I'm out. We go to 7-Eleven. Me and my best friend in high school, we would go and buy some stuff to go and snack and go hang out and play video games. That's kind of what we did back in the day. And we like, ooh, look at this pinball machine. So yeah. Kent says, love B-Stock Dick's Sporting Goods. But there might be another vendor that I'm not aware of. So I don't know.
Watch out. Blake's in the chat.
Lilac Seller, Dick's Sporting Goods. He probably used the baseball bat from that place. Lilac Seller says, hey there, FAE folks.
Hi, Meg.
Maya Koyama. John, since the live is about liquidation, it's not really about liquidation.
Well, it has been mostly.
A lot of it, but this is kind of where I'm diving into the liquidation. I am.
Just continue reading that.
I want to finish the thought.
No.
You won't let me finish the thought?
No.
Keep cutting me off.
Yeah.
Have you considered making a video about how to identify good pallets, or rather about how to identify a bad pallet?
That would be a good video to make, I think.
I thought I did. And
that was years ago.
Yeah.
That was way back at the old house.
I need to review it, but I'm going to do a couple videos. I want to do a video.
Have changed.
I want to do a video on cost averaging. So it's sort of like, you don't even have to buy liquidation to use this. So you go out, you have a great day at the yard sale, you find a carload of stuff. You're like, wow, all I know is like we spent like time this morning until this afternoon. I filled up my car and spent $200. That's all I know. So now you have all this stuff and you're like, I don't even remember what I paid for this, or I bought it all in a bundle, and you just want to assign a value to it. So you know what? I think it's a great idea. You should know, and it's worked well for us, to know what you're into an item for. And Kevin and I kind of had this kind of back and forth video stuff about it, and he looks at it a different way, Kevin Commonwealth Picker. But the way I look at it is, if I'm into an item for $1, I know where I got to be to make my 5 to 10x. So maybe that item's selling for 40, but even if I came down to 15 after fees and everything, and this is before shipping, I know I made money on the deal. So I'm into these behind me for $6 a piece. And so I bought the whole lot. I didn't buy them each for $6 a piece. I bought them all individually, and it turned out to be I bought like 60 or 70 of them, and some were $4, some were $7. And they cost averaged out to about a little over $6. And it's a good idea to know what you're into these items for, because if you have to play the game where you're coming down in price, I don't want to come down too low to where at the end of the day I'm losing money. And so I want to do a video on kind of talking about that and cost averaging when you're buying a whole lot of things at a location, just to ensure you're not going to lose money. There's so many new resellers out there. They don't consider or remember what they're into an item for, and they take a low offer on something and they pretty much broke even. They might as well have just thrown it out in the trash instead of buying it. But That's kind of what I want to talk about. Whenever I look into pallets, I just have no idea how to figure out what's a trap, so I don't want to take the risk. So sort of to answer your question about good pallets versus bad pallets, yes, I do want to make a video about that. It's a good idea, but I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on that. 90% of the pallets out there are trash. So you're going to get a couple good items with a bunch of junk. That's what a lot of the pallets are. So you have manifested pallets and you have non-manifested pallets. Manifested pallets are generally going to be a little bit more expensive because everyone knows what's in there. You can, it's manifested. People can look up the values and figure out if it's worth it. So that's kind of what I'm doing with my spreadsheet. I'm taking the manifest and I'm copying it over or pasting it over to my Excel spreadsheet, and then I'm doing the comps. I'm going through, okay, generally my 40/40 says that I'm going to get this amount. The comps are generally this amount. So I do that for all my columns, and I project how much I should make on the low side of things, and that'll tell me if it's worth buying. And it really is only a 5-minute process per pallet. But if you're on the fly, let's say you're out and about looking at pallets at your local liquidator, there you should have, it's no different than being at a yard sale. You're only buying what you could see. So these pallets, let's say, have the wrap around, the clear wrap. You're trying to identify every item you can see, and you're looking for home run items within that pallet. That's kind of the quick way to do it. And you're always looking at your TerraPeak, your product research on your app to see if it supports buying it. But again, you're going to find a couple good items in these pallets, and the rest of it's just going to be trash. Condition of what you're buying is also important. So you can see by these boxes, are these boxes thrashed? Do these items even have a box? Chances are those are ones you want to stay away from, the ones that have beat up boxes or items that like vacuum cleaners that have no box, things like that. Kent says, if you stand outside too long, you will liquidate in Louisiana. Yeah, out here too.
That's true.
Mike Gertis says, that doesn't sound good. No, it's not. DM Ephemera, does TreeCat store your listings or just pass through in case eBay crashes or loses picks again? They don't store your listings.
What's the other platform?
That would be InkFrog.
InkFrog.
So InkFrog will do, and I believe TreeCat might be working on something like that because they're getting a lot of feedback to, hey, can you, because InkFrog will pull all the listings and the photos into one central database located like a library. And then you can then say, okay, I want to delist this item and I want to put it on this store, right? And you can go through your listings and do that. And it's a much cleaner process than doing it on your own, which I've done.
I will take, like last night I was going through, not last night, yesterday, I don't know when. I was going through some listings, and there are some that I have listings on eBay and not Mercari or Posh. And then I have some listings that are on only Mercari, some listings that are on Mercari and Posh and not eBay. So I mean, the majority of them are all on eBay. However, there's some items that I have pulled down because of low ASP and it's dragging the store down. So occasionally I'll go in and delist it from eBay and see what happens to my sales.
Andy, I'm going to kind of skip this comment, but start spending some of that money on Jenna and won't be so packed. She spends her share of the money. Trust me. Trust that. Okay, and especially when she goes on her little trips, she's like this. She just with no regard. She just does.
Hey, I'll be camping, so I won't have a need.
Oh, you'll find a place to spend money.
I'm going to spend money beforehand.
Bearded Picker says Mount Shitter doesn't seem to be shrinking.
It's not.
Maybe call Roto-Rooter. DM Ephemera says mail him some Miracle Grow, see if the pile grows.
No.
Let's see. Big Dre says, good idea, John. It definitely counts. It is a business trip. If you did stuff, if you bought anything for your business, boom, there you go. Beard says, maybe you need to buy a case of Preparation H to shrink things to do with the shitter.
Stop.
My Gerda says, speaking of CPA, I'm going to meet up with one tomorrow and find ways to invest in my business. I really don't want to pay 10 to 15K to our lovely government.
Oh, neither do I ever.
Well, if you find strategies that work well within reselling,
send us an email.
Yeah, I mean, you can invest in like your paper tape machines, your your bubble machines that make the little cushiony deals.
Pillows.
But I mean, we have a limited space problem, so
we need a bigger space.
Well, we can always convert our living room like some people do.
No, that's never going to happen. Never.
Silver says, I'm writing off our trip down to the Rhine on Viking cruises. LOL.
No, you're not.
What? Look, they have protocols. You get out and you start buying things like some trinkets that I'm going to sell in your store.
Oh.
And there you go.
Hey, I want a trinket.
I'm not a CPA, so do not take that advice.
I want a souvenir, Todd.
Juan Garcia says, it's Monday, anemic weekend, but more product coming in today. I'm in the same ballpark as you, Juan. Yeah. Looking forward to the product. I'm actually, my receiving shelf is down to a couple items. I'll have that listed today. And then once that's done, I'll have a room on my rack out there to put some of the new stuff in these pallets.
Oh my gosh. Juan, what is the name of your dog? Because he or she, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but looks like Chewy. Chewbacca. That's what our dog was supposed to look like, and he changed colors.
Yeah. Devon says, hello. Thanks for being here, Devon.
Devon, you changed your picture.
Only cool stuff says, best offer is great, but sometimes makes me overprice my items, LOL. Yeah, you do want to consider that. Like, these seats, it's like they're at $29.99, and it's like, do I even want a best offer on them? I mean, I guess I could take 25. Someone wants to make me an offer, I'll go that low just to get them going. These are multi-quantity listings. I'm a firm believer. If you get sales on a multi-quantity listing, it tells the algorithm that it's a popular listing and you're going to get more play. But right now, I think anything, it's like these listings are being pushed down for a lack of interest. Devon Short says, summer slowdown is here for me.
Oh, man.
Biff says, maybe the toilet seats need the creamsicle keyword or mark them as Miami Beach
have you
toilets.
Gone in and done any keywords? Do it.
I do keywords in my listing. I'm not going to do gimmicky keywords.
Come on, do hashtags at the bottom.
But that's keyword spam. You're not supposed to do that.
You know what?
It's not relevant to the listing. I really don't think it's relevant. I think that
narrow.
Okay,
I mean,
whatever. I'm not disregarding your idea, Biff. I mean, it could work, but it's not.
You should.
It's not. It's frowned upon. Kent Daigle says, mine likes weed brownies.
I like brownies.
Mike Gerda says, I'll probably use my write-off to build a storage work building, ready to separate my eBay inventory from the house, and I sell small items. Can't imagine large stuff in the house. If we own this house, it would be a different story. That is for sure.
Yeah, we would have storage in the backyard because we have a very nice side yard that is, because we're in a corner lot, and so it's a very large area. We could fit a very nice shed in back there. Marie Jamar says, hi, Zahir, nice to see you in this chat. Well, nice to be able to create a meetup place for you and Zahir. I mean, I don't know. Where's Zahir? I haven't even seen Zahir. Know, but hopefully you guys are doing well. Maya says, this is a different buyer, but I got one messaging me today, and I checked his feedback left for others. It was 2 straight pages of negs, all saying, don't take those who lie seriously. Like WTF. Wow. That's a block and a half. Oh, yeah. Big Dre said, I blocked one person last month because they were very rude. Yeah. And you don't have, this is the good thing about taking offers. Is it worth selling an item full price to a maniac or $5 off to that same maniac? And I'm not saying you're going to sell it. I'm saying you have the ability to go in and look to see that they're a maniac if you get an offer, and you can go in and say, I don't want to do business with this person. But when you're selling full ask, you have no ability to block this maniac, even though they exist, until it's too late and they buy your item. So that's another benefit to having offers to watchers. Or best offer selected. Big Dre's, I blocked one person. We already talked about that. Mike says, I got my frustrations out today on a buyer wanting 40% off
on items I sell at list. Block. Yeah. Maya says, my anime stuff is selling awesome, but it's killing me because I get these buyers messaging me all day, an hour after posting the item. Yeah. Is blocking legal? I wouldn't want to try it. Paul says, blocking everyone. Sorry, going a little nuts with eBay lately. Well, Big Draper responds professionally and respectfully with the customer, but I just don't want to deal with rude buyers if I can help it.
Yeah, same here. But
you do the respectful reply, and then they come back asking the same question, just a different way. It's like, dude, can you read? Susan Phelps says, seems buyers hardly ever read listings. No. Yeah. Andy has a question. John, where's Tommy Bernard? Did you two have a little quarrel or something? No, I mean, honestly.
You've been wondering the same thing. No. I'm surprised you haven't tried calling
The last time I've talked to Tommy Bernard, he's probably busy. But the last time I talked to Tommy Bernard was, I would say, a couple weeks ago. And we were talking just random eBay stuff back on the 8th of June. And I haven't seen him
Maybe he's
since.
On vacation. Maybe he doesn't want to put up with us anymore. I don't know.
I'm going to have to reach out and say, hey, man, what did I say this time? Because I know I say things that sometimes he doesn't agree with, and that's fine. But he's not the kind of person that's going to duck out. Well, I don't know. Maybe not on this channel. But we'll find out.
Maybe he's too busy with the Karen Marie trial.
I don't know. You think he'd come in here and check in because he's got someone to talk to about it.
Well, we don't really talk about it here.
John Doe says, I have thought about buying pallets, but not blindly. I need to know what I'm paying for. Yeah. So stick with me. I mean, you want to check out the video. The video that I put out got like 100,000 views a few years back, 3-4 years back. There's a lot of good stuff in there. My 40-40 method still works. It's still the same game. Reselling still the same game that it was 4 years ago. The markets, it just changed. The climate's changed. That's the only thing. The concepts are still pretty much the same. And when it comes to buying liquidation pallets, the concepts are still the same. So I believe I talk a lot about, I'm going to go back and watch it again, but there's a lot of stuff in there that still applies today, almost all of it. So go check out one of my liquidation videos. Should be the one that had like 100 and some odd thousand views. That was like my top video that I've ever made. But I think it's probably time for a new one now that I'm buying liquidation pallets again. But I'm going to be kind of sharing things that people don't care about, that some people might care about with some of the on the secondary member stuff that I put out.
What did Jovial say? You keep skipping Jovial.
I don't know. Jovial says, rock 'em, sock 'em.
She's going to punch you.
I said, I don't know. Jovial Juggler says, rock 'em, sock 'em, best to block 'em.
That's right. I like that.
Devon says, just remind me to go block a buyer. Go get that buyer blocked. I have a ton. You know what? Speaking of block, I shouldn't even say this.
No, don't.
Okay, I'm not going to say it.
Let's just see how it plays out.
You're dealing with a block-free zone right now. So
let's leave it.
We'll just say that.
Don't say anything.
Maya says, Koyama says, even with manifested pallets, you can still get screwed over. Saw a YouTube video about a manifested boutique by the box pallet. The highest value items on the manifest were damaged.
Yes.
So you have to know the rules of the game. Just like you're selling on eBay, you need to know their fine print rules. So a lot of times these places will say, we guarantee a 5% or less fail rate, or, like it'll say it'll have a certain item. Well, let's say there's 100 items in the lot. Well, they can miss on 5 of them before they'll say, okay, sorry, we'll give you a refund. I had from one of these liquidation companies, 6 of the top items were missing. And we're talking Xboxes, limited edition PlayStations. These are like the $300 to $400 big ticket items that made the whole thing worth buying. And we still made money on the lot, but we contacted the place and they gave us a percentage of our money back because of that. And that's what the rules stated, that they had that, where they do promise they'll give you. If you're dealing with the local liquidator, you need to find out, look, I see what I see. What are your policies? Now, I've got one. I buy the pieces individually. I can return it 7 days, no questions asked. There's another one. The other one I'm buying from, it's you inspect it when you pick it up. So for me, I'll get the pallet. I'll load each piece into my car. If something major is missing, I bring it to their attention. and then they'll figure something out. They'll do something there. So you got to know the rules of the game. And if they are sketchy like that, do a test buy. Buy a low-end pallet. Maybe it's not going to cost you much money, but make sure you're buying something that has parts or repair sales history. So if the item doesn't work, you could sell it for parts or repair. And if the item is missing accessories, can you sell it with missing accessories? And can you part it out? So these are things. We had a pallet, and I was so excited to get it. This is like 3 years ago. So excited to get it. And we got a pallet of Roombas and like the Shark robot vacuums. And we're so excited to get it. And half of them were like not functional, or like missing the bins, or just it didn't work. And guess what I did? No, it wasn't one of the worst pallets. It was one of the most disappointing pallets at first.
Oh, okay.
But then I found, I can take the wheel motors out of these Shark robot vacuums and sell them for $30 to $40 a piece, because people have their vacuums go out and the motors, all they have to do is get replaced. The batteries I can pull out. The bins I can pull out. Or I could pull out all these things with just a few turns of a screwdriver and list them now. And we made decent money off of a disappointing lot. So you just gotta know what you're buying, and you have to plan for worst case. Because if you buy a bunch of clothing in a pallet and they're all ripped, they're probably not going to have any value if they're not in the condition you're hoping for. But with electronics and things like that, you still can make money, even if you get worst case scenario like we did. Paul Rose says, Maya had an item delivered to a drop-off point for a buyer last Wednesday. He hasn't collected 22 feedback.
He hasn't collected yet.
Same fun to look forward to. But he hasn't collected.
Had an item delivered.
I don't know. Okay. So I'm looking at the drop-off point. I'm trying to figure out. So if it's one of those people who've redirected their package like to Walgreens, like I have, that's kind of what you're talking about. Maya says, how long do they have to pick it up before it returns the sender on the one with Paul Rose?
He says, I think it's 10 days. Only had it happen once before.
Yeah, with FedEx, somebody can contact FedEx and say, here's my tracking number. I'm not going to be home. Can I pick it up locally? And then they'll leave it at like the local Walgreens or FedEx facility, and they'll text whatever phone number you put in. Like if you're buying the label through eBay, it's usually your number. If you're buying it through FedEx, you can put the buyer's number. I just put mine. They'll text me, and then I'll go and find the buyer, send them a message saying, hey, but the buyer probably already knows because of the one that set this up anyway. And they have like 5 days to pick it up, and then it's sent back. Devon Short says, a buyer threatened to leave me bad feedback before she got her package. It was not late. She is blocked now. Yeah. Just say, eBay gives you a range of time, and we sent this out on time. Jovio says, ain't no way I'm going to the woods without a pair of draws on. Draw tails. What's draw tails on? Ryan resells Infinity. Says, hello, y'all. Thanks for being here, Ryan. Hello. Beard says, come on, John. If they're not suppressing our listings, that means sellers are not doing what they're supposed to do. That can't be. We're all doing everything perfectly, aren't we? I'll leave it there. Jenna is thirsty.
Hey, lawyer, is not bad to look at, okay? Or are you really talking about my beverages?
Who's lawyer you know?
Lawyer you know.
I'll have to go look it up now. Maya says, it depends if they end up doing, I had one person open an item not received and an item that was held at their post office, so the case was closed in my favor. Yeah. Just do what you can do, and explain, here's what I did, and there's nothing more I can do. I'll be glad to look into it for you, or put in a tracer or that type of thing. I just think sometimes people want to know that you're on the other end and you're willing to help them out if there's an issue. Some people are unreasonable. You just can't deal with those people. Brenda Smith says it's his second year of instructional, still learning different positions, does great hitting and mainly catcher. There you go.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very good, Blake.
Maya, in that case, any feedback is removed on her situation there. Jerry Johnson, thanks for being here, Jerry. I received an email from eBay that they are increasing my selling limit to $10 billion. Wow. Is that $10 billion? No, $10 million. $10 million with an M.
That's a lot.
And yeah, don't worry about it. It's just informational. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, most of us will never have that amount of value in the store. David Doge says, I cannot fulfill order, cannot get buyer to ask to cancel. I know if I cancel order, the ding sticks with me a year, waiting for them to open a case. So here's the deal. Don't wait for anyone to open the case. You're going to need to take a ding if you're out of stock. Now, it sucks. You're not happy to do it, but just know it's a 3% thing. So if more than 3% of your items are out of stock within I believe it's within a 90-day window for some and 12 months for others, and I have to look at that. Don't get me entirely wrong there. But you just don't want to have any more. And it sucks. We had one a couple weeks ago, and it just is what it is. Okay. Just wondering who was not hard to look at.
Wow. Scott.
Wow. Look what's going on here.
What is happening?
I mean, for me, he's not easy to look at. I don't.
He is a very handsome man.
There you go. I got a baseball notification, but there you go.
He is a very handsome
There's her man crush right there. Ryan Resells says market fluctuation. Maya says, yeah, I mean, unless you have something else similar in your store they may want instead. Kind of getting sidetracked. I don't know what that comment was for. Beard says, can if something's wrong, first of all, come on, English. If something's wrong, I'm sure I screwed it up. You can count on it. Do you not remember Bogalusa?
He's talking to Kent, so
no, because
lost.
Bogalusa is when he had the car problems and he had to go eat at Popeye's Chicken while he was waiting. Beard says he said the last person to do brakes didn't tighten the bolt down. Damn, it was me.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Well, we know that you don't do brakes for anyone anymore.
Yeah.
Beard says, Todd, it's your fault. Do you have a Band-Aid toothbrush combo yet? David says, I feel like canceling order and issue refund is the polite way to go, but the ding is a serious one. It is a serious one, but if it's your only one, you shouldn't have a problem. So just do better, and I'm saying that because we've done
it. Countless times. Unfortunately, it happens.
Beard says, I'm watching this on my TV. I would prefer to see John in 720p. Wow.
Wow. No, you wouldn't.
Mike says, oh boy, John is getting bunch of thumbs down with crap items. Accountability statements. Love it. People don't want to be told that it's their items. People don't want to be told that it's their items at all. It's like, and I can understand, like I've said this before, if you say to someone, your items probably shouldn't have been bought for resale, you should have done better. They look at you funny because they've invested thousands upon thousands of dollars for thousands upon thousands of items. What are they supposed to do with all that stuff? So of course they're going to say, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm just going to try to keep selling these items because I don't have a choice. I'm in too deep, which is why I think it's a good idea for people who are in that situation to open a second store and start putting your worst items on that second store. Find ways, lot them up, lot similar items up. I have a friend that's not even a reseller. He sent me a message and said, yeah, I'm selling all kinds of stuff on eBay. Oh, really? What are you selling? A lot of my old clothes. Okay, well, there's a lot of clothes sellers that aren't selling a whole lot of items right now, but you're selling all of them. Yeah, because I'm lotting them up. Makes perfect sense. You've got similar sized items, lot them up in a 4 or 5 lot, right?
Yeah, because chances are they're going to be the same size.
Yeah, I mean, he's happy with the money he's getting out of them, right? And I think we get disappointed. We get stuck with the idea that, you know what? When I bought this item, I saw that it was going to sell for 20. The idea that I'm only going to be able to sell it for 10 is out of the question. So I'm going to keep trying to sell it for 20. I might be able to come down to 18, but I don't care what the data says. I'm going to stay up here because that's what I saw when I bought it. That is absolutely the wrong mindset to have, the inflexibility to have in business. You've got to be willing to say, I don't want to take $29.99 for these things, but guess what? At some point, you got to be willing to cut ties and get rid of it.
Just let it go.
Right. John Doe says, I've never checked sell-through rates in my extended family, community, and local charities are happy to get all my bad buys. I don't recommend following my example. I mean, there's times you're going to have to donate, right? But I'm not there yet. Not even close to there yet with these things here behind me. I'm going to find a creative way.
So.
I mean, if it comes down to being like creamsicle seats, I mean, I guess we'll try that. But we're going to let the price make these things move. Maya says, if it's really rare that you cancel, then you'll be fine. But you just need to make sure you go clean up your store and make sure nothing else isn't still listed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens to me, I go through and do a whole search and clean everything up.
Yeah. And you'll be surprised the number of things that not only you'll find that are not there that are listed, you'll find things that are there and aren't listed. So you need to do that every so often. Every 6 months is a good time frame. Juan Garcia says people tend to internalize success, externalize blame. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was watching this short. I think it was from TikTok, but it was made into a short because I don't really watch TikTok. But this daughter was confronting her mom. Her mom had used her credit, and the mom was mad at the daughter because the daughter reported her to the police, and she's like, I gave up so much to the daughter. I gave so much to you, and this is what you do to me. What's more important, your credit or your mama? And it's like, wow. And so she's like, I'm tired of this. I can't get a loan. I can't do this, do that. I'm trying to live my life, and you're running up my ruining my credit.
So my sister dated somebody that happened to.
But the mom was blaming her and blaming the dad that had left when she was a kid and blaming this and blaming that, and wasn't blaming like yeah, I screwed up.
Didn't take accountability.
Yeah. So Beard says they got it wrong. You're a drop shitter, John. David says none at this time. Top rated at the moment. Went below standard a while back and paid a lot of extra money in fees for a year. So just take the hit and make sure that there's no other opportunities for that to happen. Even if it means you're taking a day to go through your inventory, do it. And then just back to business. Paul Rose says, sometimes a spade is a spade. Bowing out tonight, midnight here, coffin time, night mortals, happy sales. Well,
good night, Paul.
Good night, Paul. See you. We'll have a little earlier one on Friday for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Susan has 112 listings. Okay, we saw that.
Yep.
Maya says, if you have no out of stock defects, I just check. If you have any other kinds of defects, should tell you how many defects you have in each category. Yeah. John Doe says, get the $20 store. You can have 1,000 listings for specific categories, 10,000 listings for other categories, and 250 auctions monthly. There you go. I just don't, I know that every store gives you a new level of listings. I just don't take the time to memorize these things. Hill Valley Vintage says there is a lot to learn with hats, but if you have the time to invest, you can do very well with them.
Yeah.
I believe you are correct there. And when I was buying the hats, I was being very selective. I just wasn't picking any hat up. I was looking at a number of factors. What's the appearance? Are they new? Do they have tags? And is there anything interesting about the hat, like some of these PBR hats for the professional bull riding hats? They had some that were sold out here in Vegas for the finals, and they were numbered. So I thought those were kind of cool, right? So I picked those up. But otherwise, I'm staying away from hats. This is not within my wheelhouse. Susan says, Mr. Wilson used to look over the fence and talk to Tim. I used to watch Sanford and Son. Guess you never watched that before either. Yeah, but Mr. Wilson wasn't on Sanford and Son. I remember him faking his heart attack to Elizabeth, or saying he was going to come home to Elizabeth. So Ping G says, my partner and I were part of the studio audience when they taped quite a few of the episodes.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Yeah.
I would have loved to do that.
They don't do that now anymore, do they? No.
Not that I know of, anyway.
Bearded Picker says, I got a Bonanza sale during the show, and I haven't hit the like button, so you don't get credit. We don't have a light button.
Well, good thing we don't have a light button.
He's sitting in his dark room, and he needs the light button so he can see. Paul Rose was still lurking. Fruit Machine is Brit for One Arm Bandit. Okay, slot machine.
Oh.
Sanford and Son was based on a massive UK BBC TV hit Steptoe and Son. Check it out. Nightbeard, closing lid, LOL. Awesome. Andy Someta says pallets are at the whim of the broker you're dealing with. You don't get single pallets directly from XYZ YMMV. Yeah. You're usually dealing with a middleman, not the person who has the contract. It's someone who's buying from one of the contract holders from like Amazon. You know, I saw something that was pretty strange. The Dick's Sporting Goods lot, or the truckloads that they're trying to sell, it said a big disclaimer, says, please keep in mind that all liquidation we sell must be exported outside the USA.
Yeah, I think that's weird.
I think that's how they do it, where they're allowed to sell it. They're allowed to buy it to resell because they're saying that they're going to make sure these items get outside the USA, because these companies don't want, these low ticket items being their direct competition for their stuff that they're selling retail. John, I imagine either a video going through how to figure out whether a pallet is worth the price, or when going through websites evaluating different pallets, explaining what the red flags are. That is a very, very good idea. So maybe I'll go through a couple of the sites and to kind of show you why I don't shop there, and I'll go through and tell you why and look through their manifests. So that's probably a good idea. Your first mistake is finding pallets online. I buy almost all of my stuff online. There are local liquidators here, but you can tell that they're somewhat picked through that we've tried to go to. That's not to say you can't do it, right? Go to Liquidation Map, find one in your area, call them, see what kind of merchandise they have. Sometimes they have like Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon is good, Walmart is good, but find out what their policies are when you go down there. Maybe just cash and carry.
You have to. It's definitely I would call it a talent that John has. Sometimes, most of the 98% of the time, he's on the money, and then there is that 2% that we get zinged with.
But these will move. I'm not worried about it. Yeah. Maya says, that's my point. You know, a lot of resellers are going to looking for them online. Yeah, and a lot of resellers are buying bad. They are buying bad, and they buy these lots, and they're like, oh, I barely made my money, or I didn't make my money at all. And there's a lot of things to look for. People have no clue what they're looking for. They get sucked in. Personally, I've never bought a pallet because I just don't know what's a red flag or not. Yeah. So I'll do a video. Larry Wayouts with us. Thanks for being here, Larry. Nice to see you. Ryan says, love your videos.
Well, thanks, Ryan. We're Ryan. Happy you're here.
Yeah. Andy just liquidated his pants.
Oh, no.
But why don't you consider buying a toilet seat? And that way you don't have to move very far from where you're liquidating.
Okay.
Liquidated is the new moist.
Oh.
I just liquidated myself.
Oh, come on.
Maya says, here we are back in the gutter again.
Yep.
Who is that asked when the chat was going down the toilet? Yeah, it's now, we're 15 minutes before the end of the show. So yeah. Southern Vermont Vintage, what's your thoughts on companies passing on pallets of fake items from their warehouses instead of destroying them? To me, it's shameful. It's the same as if you knowingly sell a Louis Vuitton purse that's fake, or a pair of Jordans that are fake. To me, it's against the law, isn't it? To sell counterfeit goods knowingly. I mean, even unknowingly, I think it's just not good. And those people, if you ever come across that, you should never do business with them again. But they need to be exposed, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to know their policies, know where they're sourcing from. Where are you getting this stuff? There's a company that I used to do business with that was getting these returns. The buyer would order something like on Walmart, and they'd have a return. They'd open a return. Walmart would have them download a label that they would put on the package, and it would be sent directly to this liquidation company. Walmart's hands were clean of it, right? And that's one way that I found out they get them directly from the buyer. So there's no in-between middleman. But what I was finding out later on is this particular company was cherry picking their own returns, and they had their own website. They're selling these good ones, and the rest of the crap, they put a good item here or there in to get you kind of hooked into the lot, but the rest of it was unsellable crap. Maya says that sounds highly illegal. I believe so.
It is.
Hot wasabi on fire. TreeCat does save your listings if you archive the listings, the items after they sell, instead of deleting them from your feed.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I do a lot of archiving.
The Mad Scientist 40K. I love Whatnot now, and I'm seriously thinking about quitting eBay. Some people have.
Some people have. Some people it works really well for, and they make a great living.
Here's where it's good. It's really good if you have limited space. So if you have limited space and you can continually buy the kind of things that you're kind of getting an audience for and whatnot, I think that's what works out for a lot of people, and it allows you to kind of churn. And you talk about, a lot of people are like on me for like, oh, that's not right, the right way to do it on eBay. You're taking a lot less for the item, but I'm moving it fast. And they said I should just hold on to the item and wait for my price. But okay, you're talking about that. I mean, Whatnot is that on steroids.
Yeah.
Let's see. BuzzTex 2024, eBay very expensive in fees. As compared to other sites, they're probably not that bad. They're about in the same ballpark, but that's where the traffic is. So the fees are more than you want to spend, but if you want the traffic, if you want the sales, I mean, you could go on to Bonanza, but you're not going to get as many sales, not even close, than you are to eBay. Alicia is with us. She blocks people who ask us 17,432 questions, and that's going to be a return.
Yes.
Because they're not willing to read, and the key thing that they didn't ask about.
That's the first thing I think of when people start doing that stuff.
Alicia says, I love both manifested and unmanifested pallets. You just need to buy from trusted sources. Yeah. Trusted sources is exactly it, but you got to know the rules and when you can dispute a pallet and when you can't. And if they're not flexible enough to know that they make mistakes and there's going to be times you're going to have to dispute a pallet, then it's not worth doing business with them. Beard says, Short Beard was tired of the upkeep, so he is back. Corn on the cob on the beard was rough.
Ew. That's disgusting.
Let's see. John Doe says, try buyer ask to cancel instead. The problem with doing that on a out of stock is if that person wants to push the issue and says, hey, I never asked to cancel. I really wanted this item, and how dare they blah, blah, blah. They can actually get a case opened against you. You don't want that. Alicia, when that happens, we send something and then refund them before they receive it. Apologize for sending the wrong item and advise them to keep the free gift. There you go.
Haven't we done that? No,
we haven't done that. But that's a good idea, though. But I don't know if I want to do that. Southern Vermont Vintage. So much Fenton hobnail in the market. Oh, okay. Like, what is that? I don't know if that has anything to do with reselling, but you're probably right. Beard says, John, make sure you change your listings on the seats. They need to know they're glow in the dark, but they're not.
They're not.
You'd have to actually be spitting out some radiative stuff for that to be glow in the dark. Paul Rose says, still here, coffin lid ajar.
Oh, no.
45 sale, yay. John, yep, in the process of moving low value stale stuff to second account. As we speak, someone please nail this lid down.
Okay, go to bed, Paul. Go to bed.
He's probably sleeping. I'm way behind anyway. Well, I'm about 12 minutes behind. Yeah. Nature Made in Utah. I do eBay as a part-time gig, and the money I make is not spent on mortgage, food or bills. It's my vacation and travel funds plus emergency fund.
Nice.
Yes, but that's the best. That's the best way to sell. If you have stuff that you're selling and you don't need the money to pay your bills, that is the best place to be. Brett's with us, Mad Hatter's Boutique. Hey, just got back in town from our 7th anniversary.
Woo!
Last vacation before the baby comes. La Jolla, San Diego. Now I have 24 sales to package for a big USPS pickup tomorrow. Back to the grind. Yep, back to the grind. But
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Awesome.
La Jolla is beautiful.
Jovial says, hey, J&J, any assisted living senior centers in your area? Maybe the target for those locations. Mm-hmm. I'm not to that place yet. We got Ken. Ken thinks it's 2:40 p.m. For some odd reason, every time I see them toilet seats behind John, I want to order Chinese food from City Walk. There's city beef and city chicken is to die for.
Oh my god!
If you ever watched South Park,
if you need one of our shitters, just let us know.
You got to watch South Park though. It's the Shitty Walk. The Shitty Walk where shitty beef and shitty chicken. Yeah, you got to watch. You got to watch South Park. Bearded Picker says, Siri hates Southern accents. You don't have to take accountability here. It's not my fault. And we have Chatterbrains is late to the live. I started from the beginning, so this comment may not make sense at the moment. But as far as eBay suppressing listings, I had all selling limits removed. My sales are steady, maybe a little lower the last couple weeks, but that's normal third quarter summer slowdown. Yeah. Alicia buys 90% of the pallets that she picks up online. Yep. John Doe jumped in with both feet on reselling hats, basically paid for an education, but it worked out in my favor, and I'm much wiser now, and very few of the hats I buy are junk. Cleaning is time consuming. Yes. Yeah. Alicia says, sometimes our local pallet place is a $2 clothing sales day on clothes that have an MSRP of $50. It's an amazing day when it happens.
Wow, that's cool.
Alicia, check out macy'sliquidation.com. They've got a lot of good like shelf pull type things with tags, and you can get those $2 to $3 a piece on stuff that has like $80 to $100 MSRP on there. SCG Collectibles, exactly, Jenna, especially when he buys those Olympic coins.
Those aren't even listed
yet. I haven't listed those yet. We're not there at the Olympics. Andy says, John, you are in one of the points of the Golden Triangle. Our sourcing is most unique because we have it all. Yeah. We have a lot of different ways to pick up merchandise, that's for sure. And you got to take advantage of it. Tay says, yes, sales are very slow. I'm going to do something about my slowing sales. I'm going to get better stuff up. That's my plan. SCG Collectibles, yes, it is against the law to sell counterfeit stuff. Duncan VR says, one free roll of pink glow-in-the-dark shitting paper when you buy a dunny seat from John. Is that what they call them, dunny seats?
Oh, my God.
Alicia says, can you offer free shipping on Whatnot? We do that on Mercari because it's easier for us. We don't want to do shows. We just want to list. You can do free shipping on Whatnot, but you're going to have to price it at a higher price point.
You have to start your auctions at a...
Yeah. I would just... People are so accustomed to paying shipping as long as it's reasonable, right?
And they also do... It's actually a Whatnot thing where if somebody buys, so your first item is, let's say, $6.55 to ship. Well, as they continue to buy, then after usually it's about 3, they get free shipping on the rest. Because I have done that where if I know the seller and I bought stuff on there, I'll buy the one item, but I will only buy it if I know that I'm going to buy multiple items.
Duncan says, I found 10 items where eBay listings had vanished, so I redid the listings. They all sold in days. Pays to check your stock to see if the listing's still up, especially stuff sitting a while. Yes, that is every 6 months you got to do that. Mad Scientist, that's me, except I have lots of space. You have love Whatnot, it's fun. Diamond Roy, what hair curler do you use? I use nothing. My hair is natural.
Today
oh, you mean Jenna?
Was the Longe, it's a pink one. It's about an inch and a half.
Yeah, unlimited listings. It's 1 million, 2 billion. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Duncan VR said, I just finished packing, and as usual, someone who else pays, so they will wait till tomorrow. Walking now to the post sales. Yeah. To post the sales. Alicia, I get almost all my stuff from Macy's. I have 300 swimsuits on their way to me now.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Mad Hatter's Boutique says, on hats, I recommend only new a tag unless you are in the niche. Have a following. Hats sell daily for me at 25 to 40. Yeah. And you have a dedicated source.
Yeah.
I would
have
probably
a great setup.
I would be doing exactly what you're doing if I had your source. So don't you have to spend a lot? There's a Macy's warehouse about 20 minutes from me. All the pallets I saw were huge and therefore expensive. Way too much stuff for me to deal with. So it's like one Gaylord full of like clothing that we bought. Yeah. And my daughter at the time and us, we went in halves. I think it was like, what, $4,000 for the whole thing, plus like $1,000 to ship from. Actually, we didn't ship. We actually had Tommy pick it up, right?
Yeah.
And so he had a truck. We picked it up, and then we just went down there and divvied it up.
We divvied everything up. I mean, Kelly still has,
but she's not. She's only selling.
She's not an active eBay seller anymore. She sells on Poshmark.
Yeah, and so those items, we had sold a lot of them, and there's others that didn't really move so well. Maya said the ones I saw were for thousands of items, but you can get a good price point per item. Mm-hmm. If that's your niche. I mean, it's better, in my opinion, to buy like, okay, and they do it seasonal too. So like in the fall, they're going to be putting like a lot of summer things. That's the only downfall. But you get those items, you're not going to need to go buy for the next season. And you kind of just do it every other season. So when the following season comes, you have all the shorts and stuff to sell. Rather than going out to the thrift stores, you're saving yourself a lot of time. How much time do you spend sourcing 1,000 items that are, let's just say clothes? Yeah. How much time do you spend sourcing 1,000 items versus spending a little extra, getting new tags, going to a company like Macy's, who I believe has a dispute process. And I know that Alicia's probably saying, shut up, that's where I go and buy my stuff. So I probably won't say anything more about it. But a place like that, where you could save yourself the time to drive all the way around town, finding the same number of items to put in your store. Yeah. I just think that time plays a factor too. Mm-hmm. Alicia says, do y'all do shows on Whatnot or just list to sell or both? I hate doing posh shows, so I really want to avoid them. So we do Whatnot once. We've done Whatnot.
We've only done it one time. Once,
but we're going to do more.
It's not really my thing. I don't like live shows either. I do not like them. I don't watch them. Unless I'm actually hunting for makeup or skincare or a certain clothing item on Whatnot.
And then Diamond says, Lang hair curler, they sell well?
It's called Lange, and yes, they do sell well. Although I'm not selling mine because I like how it curls.
I just wonder how much that cost me.
They work very well.
How much did that cost me? Mike Gerda says $113.
It cost you anything.
Mike says $113 sale. I expect better from your guarantee sale within 24 hours. We never put a price tag on it.
Hey, we do what we can do, Mike.
Taya, what is Whatnot? Is it like eBay? No. It's a selling platform that allows you to sell items within minutes. And you're taking less on the item than you would probably get if you took the time to list it on eBay. So it's a trade-off. Yeah. And a lot of times you have to build an audience versus the audience is already there on eBay. They're looking for items on the platform. So it does take a while to build. If you don't have social media, it does take a while to build up enough people that's going to make it worth your while to buy. Yeah. Alicia says with Macy's, if you have the room to sit on it, then it's a good buy. We hold stuff for the next year always. Then sell like crazy in the new year because it's already listed. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And here's the thing I like about liquidation. Manifested online liquidation, once you buy it, right? Whether you pick it up or have it shipped, you know what you're getting. So you can build your listings, get your drafts done right now, and then just fill in the rest of it when you get the item. Mike Seller says, greetings from Mike and Ranger.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Ranger.
Yeah, nice to see you guys.
That doggy.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks for being a member. I appreciate you. Mike Camparelli says, hi, everyone. Just got home. Hope everyone is doing well. I'll catch the replay. Nice to see you, buddy. Nice for you to at least come by and say hi. Christine Legg says, but doesn't have a marketplace now?
Yes. Whatnot does. You can put items in your what do they call it? Not in your store.
It's a buy it now thing.
It's a buy it now type of thing, but it's more for auction style selling. It's not necessarily for just a buy it now type thing. You can, some stores on there that are listed, or closet, I don't even know what they call them, but they do have some of those things that are buy it now. Or you can also pre-bid. They'll put them in their store and then you can pre-bid on them. So it's just really the way that however you want to buy and sell.
And this is the most serious thing that Ken's ever said on this program right here. So,
oh wow, that's profound.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, one.
His name is
His
Tesla.
name is Tesla.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
And Noah Designs is great live. We'll do a rewatch later on where the city beef hits me hard. Oh, the shitty beef hits me hard.
That's disgusting.
Thank you guys for being here. You know, there's many ways of buying items to resell, and sometimes you got to return sometimes back to your roots and what you've had a lot of success with. I think I would probably still be buying pallets if I didn't sort of get disappointed by a couple of these places that I bought from. And I'm glad that I went back to see that they had better pallets. I mean, that could change in a heartbeat, but always be mindful. Don't throw away your sources. Always kind of go back and check to see how they're doing, because you never know when they might be viable again. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. Of course, I'm going to give you guys updates on how these liquidation pallets do, but figuring out if liquidation's even going to work for you. I mean, you got to look at your store and all that and figure out if it's a thing. You might be better off just doing what you do, but making it work and figuring it out is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have an excellent week, and we will talk to you guys very soon.
And don't forget to go see Beard after this.
Yeah, go check out his book review. And also one last thing, Mike, Etsy, it's good, I think, for certain sellers, but not for everyone. So just see if the kind of items you have would work over there, and then determine if it's something that you'd want to sell your stuff on Etsy. So
have a great week, everybody. We love you, and we will see you. Hey, because you skipped his comment.
What? I hit the dang thumbs up. Give me my sale. More whining.
Oh my gosh, he's crying. He said no, 2 weeks.
Okay, so no live today for Beard.
Oh, okay. Is
2
he
weeks.
on the road?
I don't know.
Okay.
So,
anyway, all right. Love you guys. Have a great week.
All right.